In the last video we talked a bit about breaking down surds into smaller and more manageable numbers so that maybe we can add or subtract surds in more manageable forms. And in this video I'm going to try and talk to you a bit about how we can multiply surds together. So let's say we have two numbers, we'll say the root of 7 and the root of 2, and we want to multiply those numbers together. Well, I'm going to tell you that the root of 7 times the root of 2 is the root of 14. So the mathematical logic that you learned in primary school for multiplying 7 by 2 and equal 14 has not changed by the surd being there. It doesn't affect it, it just kind of lives separately to that. So it's exactly the same with another set of numbers. So if we go by root 5 times by the root of 6, we will get the root of 30. It's exactly the same logic and the surd does not affect it. And you might be thinking, well, hey, this sounds really easy, it's really intuitive. Well, yeah, it is for several reasons. One is you learned this in primary school, and the other thing is, if you look back here at this one, what we're actually doing is going back 2 steps to this root 8 over here. 4 times 2 is 8, and we're just basically going back the steps that we did earlier on. So it should seem really really nice and really intuitive for you. And we're going to do exactly the same thing with division. So let's say I have the root of 14 divided by the root of 7. That is going to be the root of 2. Exactly the same logic that you learned way back. So that's how we can kind of use surds and manipulate them with multiplying and dividing. And as a kind of follow on from that, maybe this won't seem so intuitive, but I hope it still feels quite nice. Let's say that I have the root of 10 over 2. The root of 10 over 2. Well, we can simplify the root of 10 over 2 into the root of 5. But actually, there's a different way to go, there's a roundabout way of doing that, which hopefully will be useful to you. Let's say that we don't go and do that. Let's say we don't know what 10 over 2 is. We can break it up, so let me use another colour. Let me use blue. We can break it up, we can say that that is the same as the root of 10 over the root of 2. And as we've seen from here, just use the numbers as you would normally. So 10 over 2 is 5, so we get root 5. So it's a kind of roundabout way of going to the same thing, but it becomes quite useful when you don't know what this 10 over 2 is. So maybe we have, I don't know, let's choose a new colour and go for, let's say we have the root of 16, hang on, let's go back one. Let's say we have the root of 16 over 7, and we don't know what that is. Well, then we can say, well, it's the root of 16 over the root of 7, and that is equal to, well, that root 16 at least is equal to 4 over the root of 7. And then what they might get you to do in an exam, actually, this is quite useful that I've kind of lucked my way into this. What they'll get you to do in an exam is say, okay, we've given you this, or actually, we've given you this one, try and make it so that there is no surd on the denominator. We want basically a surd on the top, but no surd on the bottom of that fraction. So what you can do there is you can take this, the 4 over root 7, and you can say, right, what we're going to do is times that by root 7 over root 7. And this may seem a bit strange to you. Why are we doing that? Well, this root 7 over root 7 is because it's the same number on the top and the bottom. We're not changing the value of this fraction. The value stays the same. It's like timesing by 5 over 5. You're not changing anything about it. But what this does on the bottom is, as we'll see, let's just do the top for now. So we've got the 4 root 7 on the top. And then on the bottom what we see is we get the root of 7 times 7 in there. Let me write that in. We get the root of 7 times by 7. So the root of 7 times 7 is the root of 49. the root of 49 is 7. So what we see, I'm going to squeeze this in, is we get 4 root 7 over 7. And that's what they might get you to do in an exam. That's a kind of example of why I'm showing you all this, is for that kind of exam question. And in the next video we'll go on to the kind of complicated 3 or 4 mark Surd questions. So see you on the next one.